If you like what we do here on Skiba News Nation, please like and subscribe, and also share with others so we can grow the biggest truth-seeking community on the internet. Huge shout out to all of our Patreons out there. If you like bonus content, you want some extra Skiba News Nation stuff, please go to patreon.com/Skiba News Nation.
Welcome to Skiba News Nation, bringing you unfiltered views, news, interviews, discussions, and more. And now, here's your host, Jeremiah Skiba, award-winning musician and son of Rob Skiba.
With the son of the legendary Rob Skiba. Jeremiah Skiba, what's up?
With my great and insightful co-host, Mr. Jake Grant.
Dude, someone should do conspiracy news. It would be 10 times better than what you see on television.
It's like I don't even want to wake up.
He's on a quest for truth.
Hey, Skiba News Nation family. Welcome to Skiba News Nation, your weekly source of the latest news, controversial topics, conspiracies, forgotten history, and so much more. I'm your host, Jeremiah Skiba. Here's your co-host, Jake Grant. And today we're going to be talking about all kinds of conspiracies and stuff. So first of all, I just want to thank everybody for wishing me a happy birthday and for taking the time to watch my little mini documentary about my life. Hi, my name is Jeremiah Skiba. A lot of you know me from Skiba News Nation and what you see on camera, but I want to give you a background of who I am as a person. So I was born in Fort Worth, Texas, April 27, 1994. My early childhood was a little bit rough. When I was 3 years old, my dad left me and my mom, and I was raised by a single mother who moved in with a saint, and his name is Opa. And he became my father figure, and he would take me to all my baseball games. You know, couldn't ask for a better mother and a better father figure in my life. But deep down, it really affected me not having my dad, or I knew who my dad was, I'll say, but the fact that he knew who I was and didn't want any part of my life affected me deeply. You know, I forgive him for what he did, but I just don't understand it. I don't think I ever will. I mean, I don't know how you could leave a child with, you know, his mother and just be gone. For all you people who have gone through this, you know what it's like. You always want to know where you come from, who your parents are. What were they like when they were your age? You know, did you have anything in common with them? Like, I idolized this man as literally a superhero. I don't know why. It just, and I'm sure other people have the same feeling, like you just want to know them so bad. You just want to know that you exist to them, and that, you know, you want to know your history. You want to know, I don't know, it's a weird feeling. When I was growing up, I since as an adult don't feel that way. You know, like there was a point in time where I would call him every day. This was like every day of my childhood, sad to say. I would call his phone until it was out of service, and I would always leave a voicemail. I would always run home and run to the voicemail machine and see if he would call or left me a voicemail or anything, and never turned out to be the case. The only time I would ever actually get to spend time with my dad was when we would sneak up on him. Like, we would legit have to sneak up on him. I think that scarred me, and that's kind of what started my anger about what what a dad should be, but I was shown through how Oprah raised me.
S.E. Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse. Forever we will hold our banner high. Now it's time to say goodbye to all our family. M-I-C. M-O-U-S-E. Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse. Forever we will hold our banner high. That's too big? Are you too big?
What a man truly is. How a man truly sticks to people he loves. He may not have any biological sons, but I am his son at the end of the day. At least that's how I see it.
I don't care what it costs. I want to know what the truth is. And I hope that people, my son, anybody, if my name comes up, whether you like me, whether you agree with me or not, at least you can respect the fact that he's on a quest for truth. He's on a quest for truth.
Hi, Sheila Skiba here. Just wanted to say thank you for joining us today. I can't believe it's been a year, but we have great expectations and hopes for the future. Thank you for joining us as we continue our quest for truth.
As my mom said, thank you again for being here with us.
We want to rejoice and be thankful for the time we did have so we can share it with others and continue to stay on our quest for truth. This is a time to be anticipating great things, and the best is yet to come. Thank you for your prayers, love, and support. We love you, and thanks for being part of our family.
Welcome to Truth or Con. Our vision is to grow the largest and most profound exposition of truth in the modern age. Here, no truth is beyond reproach. We're here with a common goal, and not everyone will agree with you. My name is Jake Grant, and I'm a co-host of Skiba News Nation. Now, some of you may even be here because of that very name, Skiba. What we want for Truth or Con is to be an amazing opportunity for you guys to connect with one another, for us to ask hard questions for the presenters that are coming up, because we're all here with a common goal, to seek after truth together.
Bigger and better than ever before.
And accepting me for who I am. And I greatly appreciate all the kind words. And I know a lot of you are in the same boat that I'm in when it comes to your, biological father not being there and, all that stuff. But send an email to me if you, want to tell me your testimony or anything, if you just want to talk to somebody, hit me up. So how are you, Jake?
Doing great, Jeremiah. Yeah, I really liked your biopic. It was pretty heartfelt. Happy birthday, belated. We were down there and got to hang out with Sam Tripoli and had a pretty epic time while we were down there before his birthday. But it was awesome to get to hang out when we did. And all right, so we have a new streaming service affiliate link with the creators of the Way documentary. So anybody who wants to support the channel, we get 25% of all the subscriptions through this affiliate link. So
guys want to sign up, go to watchthelife.com/Skiba. And the Way documentary was one that really was impactful for me. And it also had your father, Rob, and they have all this content, and they also have a bunch of new shows that they're setting up. You know, guys like Zach Bauer, homesteading. They have like a dating show.
Hey, how's it going? Luke?
What's up, man?
Good to see you. Welcome to the homestead.
I grew up in the country. I grew up in the woods. We never did any kind of farming stuff, so started watching YouTube videos like crazy. So that's how I got into farming.
The rain totals are around 50 inches of rain a year in the Ozarks, which is a lot. Sometimes parts of Hawaii don't get that much rain. So we were like, you know what? Why don't we just do rain catchment?
What is TLN?
Be prepared to be a mass animal murderer, you know, for a bit.
You're the reason I didn't get goats.
That's right. You're a good man. First time you walk outside your door and you see a goat standing on top of your car, you're going to realize why he separates the sheep from the goats. Homesteading opens that level of understanding to you.
What about like lifestyle? Do you want a farmer? Do you want a van lifer?
It's not a van lifer. I want someone whose company I really enjoy and genuine friendship.
What's a song that reminds you of childhood?
My dad used to sing this like Davy Crockett song. You know who Davy Crockett is?
I've heard of him.
Davy Crockett, king of the wild frontier. That's the one.
Nice.
So join the military.
Yeah.
Right when you decide to quit Christmas and you.
But we forget
Anyways,
why
guys,
we're doing it.
Click the affiliate link in the description to, you know, support our channel, and yeah,
for all
check
of our
out
sponsors down there.
Awesome. All right.
And recorded another live leftist meeting, and you're not going to believe what I heard.
I feel like we really need to just figure out a way to take masculinity as it exists today apart, and to reveal just how violent it is, not just to others, but to oneself, and how self-mutilating it is to be socialized as a man in our society. I think there's a lot of really cool avant-garde stuff going on around gender right now. The needle is moving culturally. I feel like the pushback against trans people in the last 5 years, this horrible thing that a lot of people have had to endure, is actually a barometer of the successes that have been made in destabilizing traditional gender roles, normalizing gender nonconformity.
So if you listen to how he describes the barometer of the needle being pushed, that's how the bullwhip effect operates. It's kind of what I've described in past episodes, Jeremiah, where
whip your balls off.
Yeah, that's what they want to do. I mean, it's about the effeminization of the male character in the West to make us easier to conquer in a way, but also it's to stop the population growth through these psychological warfare methods, to where these people emasculate themselves. They stop housing children
like this.
That's
I wouldn't trust the word that thing says.
I mean, that's the significance of this recorded meeting that she's showing, is that they are discussing the destabilization of gender norms as a goal.
There's thousands of ticks on them, just covered head to toe. If you guys think.
So we covered in a couple episodes of the past how people were discovering boxes of ticks being released on farmland in the Midwest and in the Central Plains, Missouri, Arkansas. And what's interesting is you're having an uptick of Lyme's disease from these ticks. And, usually you'd have just a few ticks. Tick season, of course, is a real thing. But look how many there are now. Animals are being covered head to toe. It's insane.
That this is just a natural process. You're not very smart. And the timing of this couldn't be any better. It's interesting that Big Pharma is...
Yeah, Bigfoot is probably doing pretty bad if it's tick
pray
season.
for him,
Yeah. Watch out. Bigfoot's going to need vaccine.
Coming out with vaccines for Lyme disease and, all this stuff to combat the ticks. It goes even deeper when top scientists at these companies go on air and talk about how they can bioengineer ticks to make us allergic to red meat. How about listen?
So possibly we can use human engineering to make it the case that we're intolerant to certain kinds of meat, to certain kinds of bovine proteins. And there's actually analogs of this in life. There's this thing called the Lone Star tick, where if it bites you, you will become allergic to meat. I can sort of describe the mechanisms.
This is what they're talking about right here, these microscopic.
So they call it the Lone Star tick. Is that because like Texas is the point of origin? What do you know about the Lone Star tick? You're there in the Lone Star State.
I mean, the only thing I know about the Lone Star tick is what you presented, and I haven't seen really. I did see a bobcat. I don't know. There's something weird going on with animals right now, and it could be because of the ticks. But like, I saw a bobcat. I wish I had the photos in the daytime, in the morning, like just walking around, and they're nocturnal. I thought. I could be wrong, but bobcats normally just make their way and hunt for their food at night. But this thing looked like a house cat, but it had a bob tail. So I got some photos of it, and it was not scared of me. It was kind of weird. Probably had some of those
Wow.
ticks on its nuts.
Yeah, you get too close to some big wild game zoos and little private zoos there in Texas, and you're bound to run into a free tiger every once in a while.
Yeah, Tiger King. Free Tiger King. Hashtag free Joe Exotic.
Yeah, by the way, Jeremiah interviewed Joe Exotic on the phone. You guys should go check out that interview. It's hilarious, but
I'll rile him up.
All right, man. So yeah, these microscopic ticks are horrifying. It's just a way that they're using biological organisms, these little mutant alien ticks to disseminate their diseases so that we come running home to Papa begging to get the cure.
Are just outbreaking all over the United States. You guys think that this is a coincidence, guys? Or do you think something else is going on here?
We seem to
That's why I don't go outside.
and vision.
All right, so moving
Don't
on.
go outside,
To have
anybody.
lowered our sights and let systems and structures and bureaucracies muddle us along. But we are capable of so much more. Our technologies permit us to manipulate time and space. They leave distance annihilated, cause things to grow and improve productivity.
Top
So this is a guy
is going viral after he claimed he once
claiming he was
to a Waffle
teleported.
House right here in Georgia. Yes, he really did say that. He says somehow he traveled about 50 miles instantly and just showed up there. At least he went to the Waffle House. There's worse places. The claim comes from an old podcast that's now making the rounds again, and he's still.
Remind me to tell
We
you
had
something after
a
this.
teleport incident, 2 of them. The car lifted up and took me where I was going. And I ended up at a Waffle House like 50 miles away from where I was. It was an incredibly frightening moment to experience yourself in your car flying through the air.
As I said, he is.
Of all the places to be teleported, Waffle House, really?
Waffle House. Yeah. So when I was a kid, one of my favorite things that my mom would do, we didn't have a lot of money as a kid, but we every month we would go and feed the homeless with $100. Like we get, and that's when you could get like a bunch of hamburgers, but we would just give a cheeseburger to a homeless guy, And we made friends with all these people. There was one lady named Paula, and she swore to us that she just popped up. That's how she explained it. I just popped up. Like I wasn't born. I just popped up. And then one day she was gone. So I think she was a teleporter too. And if you're out there, Paula, what's up?
Hey, you never know. I mean, people also disappear and have their minds wiped by these secret programs, MK Ultra types,
Well,
and they
here's
just
my thing.
probably come to awareness in the middle of nowhere, and they're like, "Well, I guess I'm gonna, be a walking sleeper agent."
Well, you know the thing about Barron Trump, and there's a book about a time traveler, Barron Trump. And then if you go back and you look at the old Tesla files, the guy who ended up with the majority, a big chunk of those files was Trump's uncle. So the ties
Yep.
between those is very interesting. And, he had technology that was way beyond, he's like one of the smartest men to ever live,
Yeah, it is interesting that there was a certain number of trunks recorded and a certain number of them didn't show up in the end, wherever that it was archived. So, whoops. Yeah, exactly. So, all right, let's continue on.
It's a top Trump appointee at FEMA who oversees federal disaster response. So the president
this is the guy
of the
that got
United States
teleported.
personally answers K-File's call. And he responds in part when Andrew's asking about this teleporting to a Waffle House, the business. Quote, "It just sounds a little strange." Andrew Kaczynski is out front. So, Andrew, okay, you called Trump on his cell phone. You have a conversation about this. So,
and he wasn't wrong, by the way.
He wasn't wrong.
It does sound strange.
It does sound strange. It might-
Okay, so speaking of strange phenomena, have you seen this reports of these swarms of bees and different animals in Israel?
Oh, no, but it's about time.
Well, it's like the plagues of Egypt.
Well,
check
it's because
this
it's
out.
like all the gays and stuff, you know?
I mean, it's crazy.
They're gonna bite you. They're gonna bite you. It's the Iron Dome of bees.
If you start doing a deep dive on Christian beliefs about the end times and Islamic beliefs about the end times, I'm going to show you some things that are A, going to blow your mind, and B, going to send a chill down your spine. In Islamic eschatology, there will be an end times messianic figure that's called the Mahdi that
successfully destroyed Iran. You will have to turn your attentions to the destruction of Turkey. Now, Turkey, as they call it now, is standing on the sidelines, but they're not stupid. They understand what's really happening. They understand what Israel's goals are, and they've already concluded, I think, that they are inevitably going to come to blows with Israel, and that's probably going to happen in Syria. Turkey is better armed in many respects than Iran. It has a real navy. It has substantially and probably the best army in NATO from the standpoint of numbers and equipment and so forth. So the next step is to destroy Turkey. So let's not delude ourselves what this is about.
A sky humming with tens of thousands of wings, bees flood Israeli streets, shutters slam, whispers rise of divine judgment. Fear spreads faster than facts, but beneath the buzz, science points to something far less mystical. In a region on edge, are these swarms an omen, or just nature misread?
All right, what would you do if you were swarmed by bees?
I wouldn't go outside. I don't know. I don't like bugs. I don't like any bugs. There was a wasp flying around me trying to get in my car yesterday, and I started screaming and I ran back inside. It could still be in my car. I just waited for it to die of heat. I'd rather die.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy. We're seeing these swarms of animals. It's not just bees.
In some Christian and biblical symbolism circles,
Jews.
swarms of bees appear in older commentaries and allegorical readings as a sign of large, overwhelming forces or plagues. In Islamic and other Near Eastern traditions, insects like wasps or locust-like swarms are used in scripture as metaphors for punitive hosts sent by God. And bees can be folded into similar imagery of a divine swarm afflicting or warning a people. A viral video showing thousands.
So look here, it's not only bees, it's crows swarming in like flocks and flocks. Of course, we saw that crazy video of the crow like taking the Israeli flag off the pole.
Yeah.
Of crows flying in formation over Tel Aviv has triggered widespread speculation online, with some calling it a natural phenomenon and others labeling it a sign of doomsday. The footage, which darkens the skyline over densely populated areas, has rapidly circulated across social media platforms. However, there is no confirmed timeline for when the video was recorded, raising questions about its authenticity and context. The speculation intensified after users drew comparisons to a similar incident in Kyiv in 2023, where...
Do you think the Iron Dome has anything to do with it?
I think it definitely has to do with all of the explosions and the missiles shooting through the sky. It's probably spooked all these creatures, and got their internal mechanisms going haywire.
Yeah. True,
And of
true.
course, seeing all these esoteric and end times styled events, we're not going to end here, but just to, bring the ethos of what all, the end times stuff makes you think of. Don't forget who you are, Christian kid. Yeah, that's how all the end time stuff's got you thinking. But
hey, but speaking of end times, can I give a quick plug to Lucas Cameron, Seven Trumpets Prepper? I'm a Patreon of his, and I won a bug out bag, and I did an unboxing. So go subscribe to his channel and his Patreon,
Nice.
and I do an unboxing, and it's kind of funny. So go check him out and tell him that I sent you and that we love him. So speaking of doomsday, he's always prepared.
You're going to need your bug out bag because we have these AI overlords creating tribunals of truth. Now, we covered this in our live stream, but it was important enough to bring up again. Check out what Peter Thiel is funding.
Disturbing new development in AI.
Introducing Objection, the first AI tribunal. Former CIA and FBI agents will investigate. They gather evidence and make it public, permanently. The AI tribunal checks the record and renders the verdict. From the team that bankrupted Gawker, mastermind Aaron D'Souza, and investor Peter Thiel, comes Objection. Truth isn't what goes viral, it's verified. File an objection.
Objection.
Yeah. I don't know. That gives me the heebie-jeebies just watching that.
Have you noticed that they're all gay?
Yeah,
all of them, all the big wigs,
AI overlords,
AI.
Yeah,
They're all
Sam
gay.
Altman, Peter Thiel.
So weird, dude. I don't like
and it. This to me is going hand in hand with the bill that Melania passed recently, the AI hijacking and making deep fakes of others. Well, this goes hand in hand with that because just the title of this service makes me think they're trying to equip people to come after users of AI, who are using it for inappropriate manner. But it's a slippery slope because the same technology that would catch somebody using it for inappropriate things could eventually be docked for things that are totally, just like talking about the Bible on the, the computer. No, you're not supposed to talk about that bigot book. You're not supposed to talk about those stories in the Old Testament where it, calls out certain lifestyles. But anyways, it's yeah, man, it's pretty crazy, but let's keep going here.
Like, it's that whole video sus as hell. They're calling it the Tribunal of Truth. Objection, a new technology platform founded by entrepreneur Aaron D'Souza and backed by investors including Peter Thiel and Balaji Srinivasan, has launched with an explicit mandate to subject the media's claims to systemic investigation and judgment by artificial intelligence. The system combines investigators such as former FBI, NSA, and CIA professionals, adversarial evidence review, and finally AI adjudication. Wow, so basically AI fact-checking funded by the Antichrist to protect his brethren, we shall say. This...
All right, so I mean, we're seeing these plagues in Israel, which are interesting. You have the bees, the flocks of crows. Is that the quail that the children of Israel ended up eating in the Bible, or is it an unclean animal? You tell me. But it's interesting that we're seeing these scenes across the world. Here's a sandstorm that we saw footage of it, how it turned it red. But here's earlier footage that day where the day was completely orange.
Maybe Iran, train those bees.
Hey, that's a good theory.
And the crows.
All right. So I wanted to show this because with all this strange weather, we have to point out what just recently happened with a secret facility being destroyed in the UAE. And then all of a sudden, the drought that Iran was suffering came to a complete end, and it started snowing and raining, and all this flooding happened in Iran. It was almost as if for years, weather warfare was being waged. And somebody posted here, I'm not sure if this image is legit, but this is the kind of tech the U.S. was using against Iran to try to collapse their empire with drought. And if you go back and watch that predictive history professor, he actually was talking about this element of the war, which is water, and how the way they were going to destabilize Iran was to turn all these factions against each other in the pursuit of, drinking water. But now you see it all comes together. I present to you the HARP climate disruption, shield, right? But anyways, just pretty crazy, the technology that we're seeing revealed on the world stage now.
The U.S. attorney, former FBI.
But by the way, it's not just that. We have here Kash Patel coming after James Comey in recent announcements, which it's all kind of a dog and pony show now, because James Comey was just this like pre-approved name that was in the news circuit, it felt like years ago. And it kind of seems like he's some type of sacrificial goat, if you know what I mean.
Director James Comey has now been indicted for 2 felony counts. While many of you may read this indictment and view this matter as a simple investigation, it is the farthest thing from that. Every single investigation this FBI and our partners at the Department of Justice undertake, especially those that involve the threats to harm or hurt or even kill individuals, whether they hold public office or civilians in our country, are met with the same measure of investigative prowess and tools and personnel in partnership with the Department of Justice as anyone else. As the U.S. Attorney indicated, James Comey will be afforded every matter of due process under the United States Constitution. And as the Attorney General indicated, this has been a case that's been investigated over the past 9, 10, 11 months. These cases take time. Our investigators work methodically. They are career agents, career prosecutors who work these matters. They call the balls and strikes in the field as they see fit, pursuant to the facts of the case and the law. They took that information and made a presentment to a grand jury, a jury of peers in the district in which the alleged crime took place. And that grand jury spoke, and that grand jury returned a 2-count indictment against James Comey.
There you have it, James Comey.
He's coming. Here's Comey.
It's also interesting how they're hyper-focusing on him in the midst of all these claims that former President Barack Hussein Obama and, Clinton, they're these shining examples of, like, on every conspiracy theorist's list of somebody who's involved, right? And yet they're going after James Comey.
Yeah.
You got to start somewhere, I guess.
Yeah, you got to start low and high.
So here's a U.S. Tesla Optimus.
Are these things operational right now?
Future ground warfare.
Maybe soon.
Now, was that AI? What do you think?
Sounds like it.
Maybe soon.
It sounds like AI, like the voices.
Well, with all that we've been seeing coming out of China, it's just a matter of time before it's not artificial intelligence, footage. It's a reality, right?
If they would have left the voices out, I would have thought it was not AI, but
By the way, Kanye West released a list of people who betrayed him. I wonder if there's anybody on this list that
what if you put Epstein? Jeff
Epstein, yeah, Jeff. All right, but here's why I pulled it up, Jeremiah. You'll get a kick out of this. It starts with Kim Kardashian, IShowSpeed, Diddy, T.Y., Harriet Tubman, Northwest, Pusha, Freddie Gibson, Cuddy, Curious George, Donald Trump, Pete Davidson, Patrick Starr, LeBron James, King Von, Playbook Cardi, James Murray, and Adolf. Adolf betrayed. Yay, bro.
No. He made one of my favorite songs ever about Uncle Addie. I'm still bumping it in the truck though. I like looking at other people's faces when I'm bumping it and I have my windows down. They look at me like, what the heck? Because it's fun. Hey, Charlie.
A little bit scary, but you guys knew.
Of course, we had the scientists that were murdered. Here's more footage of David Wilcock and why he possibly was taken out.
that I might still show up even though it was last minute and I've had a really rough week. Like, that's kind of like every week, but somehow we keep on making it through all of this.
And turning now to a story we've been following as well, high-profile American scientist vanishing, turning up dead. Well, this morning, yet another decorated scientist and defense researcher dead in a plane crash in South Carolina last week. Just found out about this. Investigators say James Moffett was flying his small personal plane. They were refueling. He was with his wife and 2 sons when that plane crashed near the Union County Airport, about 35 minutes south of Spartanburg. The family was traveling to their home in Huntsville, Alabama.
Just say things willy-nilly, loosey-goosey. When he says something, it has an import. It has a power. So the fact that he said that tells you something. Do you think something sinister is going on? And if so, what?
Todd, it's an excellent question. I think at this point it's...
What do you think, Jeremiah? Do you think something sinister is going on?
No, I think we're all good. Everything's fine. Live your lives. Just kidding.
All right. Oh, man. Well, with all this talk of AI and deep fakery and some of the just the ways that we're being deceived, here was a recent MrBeast video where he gathered 50 streamers and recreated their backgrounds, like sometimes even real sets, but they weren't home. They were in a big just production studio. And so to me, this is just a signaling of the testing of the water for replacing real streamers with AI, copycat, things. Because if they can do it in real life with a false set, they can definitely do it with artificially generated individuals.
They could do it with us.
Recreating some of the biggest streamers' rooms in my studio, getting people from all over the world to find replica props just to recreate these rooms perfectly. Why? Because I'm the biggest YouTuber in the world, and I wanted to be the biggest streamer. Now, with everything fully built, it was time for the 50 streamers to arrive, and for me to reveal their rooms. Come on over. Starting with I Show Speed.
What the hell, bro? It feels like exactly like I'm back home. This is wicked.
Holy, you literally can't tell the difference. Then we showed Ludwig. Wow. Bro, it looks nice.
Dude, it's like uncanny because it's for sure my setup, but like there's little things that are just different spacing wise.
Then Pokimane.
Like the exact same paintings, the exact same light wood.
Then we showed Lacey.
How do you even manage to do this? How do you even you cannot tell the difference?
Of course, XQC.
Replica wise, this has to be one of the closest I've seen out of all of them. Some of the stuff in here is like rare and like hard. I'm crazy. They tell me the story about it. It is. I mean, it is, but it is.
How long do you think it'll take until chat figures it out?
Just the fact that my camera angle is like zoomed in more, they'll notice.
You gonna try to play it off or what?
Oh yeah, I'm acting. I'm doing my room.
Look at that. I'll get out of the way so you can see it.
This is insane.
Everything is crazy. The Lambo thing is crazy. I mean, this is like exactly the one I have at home,
Yeah, we broke into his house.
My mom painted that. I won this. Like, how do you have this?
There's a few things off though. Can you tell? Don't say nothing. Oh, look at this. This entire bed is actually toilet paper. That's a weird substitute.
And looking back,
guys, can we not?
Maybe we should have made this an actual bed.
Get on my damn bed.
But it's it's just fascinating. It goes right along with the deepfake topic. MrBeast decided to become the most popular streamer
the diamond Jimmy built the diamonds back
or real faking.
His house. You know what's crazy? No one has any idea.
Really?
Yeah. Guys, I'm just gonna say it. I'm in a studio right now. How did you get this to it?
I bet. And if I'm being honest.
It's good, bro.
What the
I'm gonna sit down on the couch, right?
It kind of worked out better that way.
Yo, you missed the couch.
Not only was the secret out, but so were the streamers.
That's what actually happened, y'all.
All right. So anyways, Jeremiah, I think it's interesting. There's a lot of news happening with Iran and different things, but that's all the news for this week.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you and appreciate the news. And it's about that time for All New Opa's Corner. He had it banked. So here it is.
Mein Hut, der hat 3 Ecken.
3 Ecken hat mein Hut. Und hat nicht 3 Ecken, dann ist es nicht mein Hut.
The strange, the bizarre, the unexpected. These are the kinds of subjects a man named Robert L. Ripley challenged us to believe it or not.
Believe it or not, you.
Wally, believe it or not.
Believe it or not.
Believe it!
You're a loony.
When Superman was first introduced in 1938, he couldn't fly. Believe it or not. The Pennsylvania House of Representatives passed a bill that recognizes pets as family members in divorce proceedings. Believe it or not. Dogs had been banned from Antarctica since 1994. Believe it or not. In July 1984, President Ronald Reagan called ice cream a nutritious and wholesome food and established National Ice Cream Month. Believe it or not. Loch Ness contains more fresh water than all of England's lakes combined. Believe it or not. Emus cannot walk backwards. Believe it or not. For National Maple Syrup Day, Denny's released limited edition sneakers made with real syrup. Believe it or not. Before acting, Jack Black spent one day working as a telemarketer. Believe it or not. A NOAA study found that Punxsutawney Phil doesn't rank among the top 10 most accurate weather predicting groundhogs. Believe it or not. At Chicago's O'Hare International Airport, a herd of goats helps to maintain the landscape. Believe it or not.
Deep thoughts with the tie-dye rabbi. How to hold the universe inside. He said, I don't know, but I got high hopes. So come on, let's go.
Every time I visit a website, I click Accept Cookies. I have yet to receive a single cookie, and I'm getting sick and tired of the lies. Because I'm old, the heavier something is, the harder it is to throw away. The lighter something is, the harder it is to throw away. I heard that cinnamon is good for weight control, so I ate 5 cinnamon rolls this morning. While driving home from work, I was thinking, how come there is enough asphalt for speed bumps, but not enough to fill potholes? I just realized you can't stand backwards on stairs. It's 3 a.m. I'm thinking, Maybe our nightwear should be called something else. Instead of pajamas, maybe they should be called fatigues. Last night, my wife asked me if I'd seen the dog bowl. I told her I didn't know he could. If snow lions live in the snow and grasshoppers live in the grass, then where do cockroaches live? Before you judge someone, walk a mile in their shoes. That way, you're a mile away and you have their shoes. If dogs take over the world, I hope they don't elect their leader based on size. Because I'm sure some chihuahuas have some pretty good ideas.
Opus blast from the past. 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 We're gonna razzle dazzle you. You'll never believe all the things we can do. We're gonna razzle dazzle you. Yes, we're gonna razzle dazzle. Set yourself down.
In time of dire need, young Billy has been granted the power by the immortals to summon awesome forces at the utterance of a single word.
And here is G.I. Joe with Kung Fu Grip. G.I. Joe has hands that grip.
The Kleppos are down to their last shot, worth $1 million.
It's off the right bank, perfect off the left wall, through the two blues. He's made it!
And we were only kidding about the $1 million.
Rebound.
He aims, throws, and upsets himself. And as you can see, nobody gets upset exactly like Jack McCoy. Billy throws, and this upset matches history. Upset.
The name of the game is Connect 4. Object, connect 4 of your checkers in a row while preventing your opponent from doing the same. But look out, your opponent can sneak up on you and win the game.
I won. Where? I can't. Here, diagonally. Pretty sneaky, sis.
Come to the honeycomb hideout.
I'm Big Betty the Blind Bomber, and I want a big cereal.
Honeycomb's big. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not small. No, no, no.
You better go. Buy fun. They go to the moon now. They've been to the sun. Please, please take me along.
Breakfast. Lunch. I said lunch, not lunch!
Andrea Thomas, teacher.
Almighty Isis.
And Isis, dedicated foe of evil, defender of the weak, champion of truth and justice.
We're the Ghostbusters.
I'm Spencer. He's Tracy.
I'm Kong. We're the Ghostbusters. We're clever, courageous, and strong.
Here they are, the oddball couple. They're a couple. That's a couple of oddballs. We got a super-sized can, and that's a lot to cool you off when you're hot. That's funny, babe.
Hey, Kool-Aid!
Oh yeah, Kool-Aid's here, bringing you fun. Kool-Aid's got their stun to run. Get a big, wide, happy ear to hear Kool-Aid's fun.
It's so rich and thick and chocolate that you can't drink it slow. If it's quick, no dolio.
Hey, it's Wolfman Jack. Hey, that Tin Lizzy makes me dizzy. Hey, Wolfman, are you giving us a straight scoop on cleansers and Clearasil? You know it. Cleansers for cleaning and Clearasil when pimples pop up. Righteous.
In the news, one short minute that wrecked lives forever.
When you hear the horn, help is on the way. So clap your hands, shout hooray for the wonderful, Electro woman and diner Dr. Shrinker, he's a madman with an evil mind. Dr. Shrinker, he's as crazy as you'll ever find. What surprise, in front of our eyes, he took off the top and the magic
Let's play a guessing game. Who's this?
Tinkerbell?
Right. Now guess what this is.
A crocodile?
Right. Now guess what this is.
A rabbit?
Oh, here's the easiest one of all.
Peter Pan, peanut butter.
Sure. Everybody knows Peter Pan.
Your eyes know and your tummy knows. Best of all, your taster knows. Peter Pan peanut butter is so grand. The smoothest peanut butter in the land.
Breakfast. I'm hungry. Take it from Carinkles. That's me. The best breakfast under the big top is post-sugar rice Carinkles. So crinkly, so delicious, so different. Each grain of rice in sugar rice Carinkles is carinkled with honey and sugar. It's so good, I crinkle every time I eat it. Yet, no matter what other rice cereal you've ever tried, you'll love post-sugar rice Carinkles best of all. Honey and sugar make it different and wonderful. A circus of fun to eat. So you crinkle on down to the store for post-sugar rice Carinkles, the greatest cereal treat on earth.
Kellogg's Sugar Corn Pops. Sugar Pops are tops. When Jingles grabs them, you shout, hooray! He does his job the Sugar Pops way. Kellogg's Sugar Corn Pops. Sugar Pops are tops.
Very often, you can drink a soft drink and not get all the fresh flavor that should be there. Hi, I'm Art Linkletter. Colas may look alike, but the best cola is fresh cola. Only Royal Crown is uniquely blended to capture the fresh flavor at its peak. So go fresher. Go RC. Poor Cinderella. She couldn't go to the ball until she cleaned the sink.
Now Cinderella had it tough. To have no babbo made it rough.
She worked harder than a dog.
But she couldn't get rid of old Sink Smog.
So sad she didn't have babbo. So sad she didn't have babbo.
Too bad. She could only wish she had.
Brighter, brighter babbo.
And then appeared a fairy queen who said,
Here's how to get things clean. Babbo is Power Pack Suds, my dear.
We'll make that Sink Smog disappear.
Yes, Babbo's Power Pack Suds sweeps away sink smog in seconds.
Whee! No more drudgery. It's babbo for me. That's why so many, many, many my brighter, brighter babbo.
No Sink Smog with Babbo.
There are times every day as you work or you play when a pause would be welcome to you. And it's then that you find the bright thought in your mind that only a Coke will do.
50 million times a day, at home, at work, or on the way. There's nothing like a Coca-Cola, nothing like a Coke.
Here's a story you'll like. Elsie plays a game. One day, Elsie said to her family, "Let's play a question game. Now, what does fun mean to you?" Well, little Beulah says, "Chocolate." "Vanilla," says Beauregard. Old Elmer grumbles, "Oh,
Nobody agrees which ice cream flavor is the most fun.
But we all agree Borden's is the ice cream for fun and flavor, Elsie says. Yes, sir. Borden's is the good ice cream with a choice of all the flavors you like. And I like 'em all in a banana split, cries Beulah.
And give me a big sundae with chocolate syrup, says Elmer.
A strawberry cone sounds super to me, says Beauregard. Yes, you can have lots of fun right at home with good Borden's ice cream, says Elsie. Just make sure Mom gets you good Borden's ice cream in the big half-gallon package.
Hey, Mom! Be sure to buy Borden! Buy Borden!
Thanks for coming to my sleepover. So, you woke up in a cage, missing a body part, surrounded by an invisible fence, with a tracking chip planted under your skin. Yeah, I'd wear a tinfoil hat too. Interesting. You say you only have a few drinks, but your smart fridge has texted me a different story. Innovative concepts in exposing city kids to nature. Scorpion petting zoo. That's a lie, Morty. Mom says you might have got the brains in the family, but I got the looks. There's never a dull moment with you. I still cough 'em up. They're just bald. Surprised? Seriously, has it ever occurred to you why they don't call me Big Feet? As a young colt, Mr. Ed was often sent to the hall for speaking out of turn. Through a gross navigational error, the Love Boat steams into the Straits of Hormuz. And when Larry lifted the rock, there it was, the least liked member of the animal kingdom, the tattler snake. I just saw 2 tarantulas climb into your sleeping bag, and a raccoon stole your shoe. He's over behind that tree. I'm allergic to carrots. Trying to lose weight. I'm letting it grow out. I'm having an off day. Dad! Better or worse? There, just right. Come on in and... Whoops! Don't be embarrassed, Tommy. This sometimes happens at our bring-your-own-stick parties. Milton the cat.
The vet said, "I'm a beast."
Earlier that day. He's a beast. I see you broke your promise. My speech bubble fell. Geezer Glen Retirement Village.
That's not what I meant when I suggested rocking on the porch, Mr. Clapwell.
Technically he's right, Dan. It says right here in the contract, customer may pay off loan with a single balloon payment. Prescriptions.
We'd actually prefer if you didn't skip any beats.
Nurse Sharks. Okay, you may feel a little pinch. Lifesavers. Sweet tea. You're so lovely. I hope you have a wonderful day.
His last words were, "I think I'll give the cat a bath."
And this is a consent form to allow the doctor to post your x-rays on his Facebook page. It's repetitive stress. I suggest months of physical therapy, or just cut off your arm and grow a new one. Web MD. Burning sensation on my behind. Save him, Doc! Clear! Shake, shake, shake. Now what? Draw a happy face. Noah's Zoo. Yeah, I could release them, or I could corner the market. Dyson rolls out new jet engines. A National Geographic photographer captures the rarely seen birth of a bass player. Open range. Und das ist alles. Auf Wiedersehen.
Mein Hut, der hat 3 Ecken. 3 Ecken hat mein Hut. Und hat er nicht 3 Ecken, dann ist es nicht mein Hut. Mein Hut, der hat 3 Ecken. 3 Ecken hat mein Hut. Und hat er nicht 3 Ecken, dann ist es nicht mein Hut.
Opa's Corner is now available on my own YouTube channel. Like, share, and subscribe.
So today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite comedians and how he managed to predict things before they even happened. So before I get into it, let's go ahead and play this first clip of the great Norm Macdonald.
There was a time when a comedian could walk onto a talk show and tell the truth about the most powerful people in the world, and nobody did this better than Norm Macdonald. When he went on The View, they asked him about the presidential election, and within seconds, he called Bill Clinton a murderer on live television.
I think we should get the homicide out of the White House and get like a fresh start, because we don't want any more murderers.
The host immediately scrambled to shut him down.
Yeah, you know, we're not allowed to, you're not allowed to put out accusations without.
That's a little too far.
That's the way it does work.
Let's just go on to the next question.
Norm just keeps going. So Barbara Walters, one of the most powerful women in American media at the time, threatened him on air.
I'll tell you what's a matter of record. You will not be invited back if you don't shut up.
He still wouldn't let it go. He tried to sneak in manslaughter as a compromise.
Let's talk football.
All right, manslaughter.
This is 20 years before Bill Clinton's name popped up all over the Epstein files, with photos of him at hot tubs and at parties with girls with their faces blurred out, implicating them as possible victims. They were likely taken around the time the show aired, meaning he was very much active in Epstein's circle at the exact moment Norm was warning the public of what he was. And this View appearance was watched by millions, so the fact that he's this relentless tells you how much he wanted people to think about it. He answered a fake phone call from his producer to mess with the hosts.
You know Matt Strauss?
Yeah, the producer.
The producer, he told me it would be funny. He said, like, why don't you carry a cell phone on and then let it ring and then pretend like there's a guy on it.
And when they tried to move on to a different topic, he just kept steering it back.
I love.
There's no stopping you, is there?
No, you seem to like Bill Clinton.
They really, and this man leads into our show on Friday night.
I know.
It's all right, his career's over after this anyway, who cares?
The host had brought up Bill Cosby, and then Norm said this.
Bill Cosby is a great man, first of all. There has never been any accusations toward Bill Cosby about any...
Bear in mind, this was literally years before the Cosby scandal broke, so here he's way ahead of his time. Norm then later delivers the perfect joke about Cosby on comedians in cars getting coffee with Jerry Seinfeld.
Now, do you think Cosby's legacy will be hurt? Yeah. You do, huh? I mean, there was a comedian, Patton Oswalt, he told me, I think the worst part of the Cosby thing was the hypocrisy. And I disagreed. You disagree with that? Yeah. I thought it was the...
Norm was banned for 15 years after that first View appearance. He'd been ripping on the Clintons for years by this point, so it was kind of expected. He'd even roasted Bill for being a sexual predator to his face at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, an event originally meant to broker positive relationships between the president and the press.
The U.S. State Department, folks, has just issued a travel warning for all women moving past Dick Morris's table.
He attacked Clinton's fundraising scandals, casually implying the president was charging for everything.
Before I sip this coffee, actually, sir, how much is it? How much would a cup of coffee cost in a place like this? I didn't want to get, I didn't want to see $90,000 on my bill later. I thought this was kind of sad. I heard last night that President Clinton charged Abraham Lincoln's ghost $10,000 to sleep in his own bed.
He joked about the head of ABC News and the affairs everyone in the media knew about but wouldn't report on. The joke being that sleeping around was so normal at the network that sleeping with your own wife was the scandal.
There's a rumor that last week, a certain, I don't want to say who it is, a certain gentleman in ABC News, he went to a party and he got really drunk and he ended up having sex with his own wife.
He also pursued journalist Larry King, who is famous for marrying much younger women.
Table 10, wherever you are, table 10. We're sorry your waitress hasn't been there in a while. Larry King just married her.
Months later, the world found out about Clinton's affair with the White House intern Monica Lewinsky. Then there's the infamous painting of him in a blue dress found in Epstein's New York townhouse. The artist confirmed that the blue dress is a reference to Monica's blue dress, which was a central piece of evidence in Clinton's affair. Lewinsky's dress famously contained Clinton's DNA and was cited by lawmakers as proof he lied. Clinton appears in 3,584 documents, 63 flight logs, and 195 emails in the Epstein case files. Norm had his card marked while everyone kept their mouths shut, and we know the Monica controversy is simply a drop in the ocean.
So he was way ahead of his time. He didn't care what anybody thought about him. So now we're going to be talking about his feud with Bill Clinton and how he would do things that would really egg people on and stuff. So check this out.
But this was one night of thousands. Norm did this every single week for years on Weekend Update, a news sketch in Saturday Night Live featuring headlines that were both lethal and uncannily prescient.
This weekend, veteran news anchorman David Brinkley apologized to Bill Clinton for an election night commentary in which he called the president, quote, boring and uncreative. Admitted Brinkley, there was certainly nothing uncreative about the way you moved Vince Foster's body.
The guy he was talking about, called Vince Foster, was a White House lawyer and close friend of the Clintons, innocence who was found dead in a park. The official ruling was that it was self-inflicted, but allegations surrounding the Clintons' involvement has never gone away. Norm leaned into it hard week after week.
Although the report does concede, Foster was deeply depressed because President Clinton was trying to murder him.
He crossed Clinton with O.J. Simpson, who at the time was the most famous accused murderer in America, the implication being that Clinton wanted O.J. to murder his wife.
Well, more O.J. Simpson news. On Friday, the Juice officially endorsed Bill Clinton for president, adding, quote, "I'd like to help him any way I can." To which the president replied, "Well, there is one thing."
Norm went after Hillary too, framing her as a compulsive liar around her claim she was named after the first Western mountaineer to summit Everest, Sir Edmund Hillary.
For years, Hillary Rodham Clinton has told people that she was named for the first man to climb Mount Everest, Sir Edmund Hillary. But as Esquire magazine recently pointed out, Sir Edmund did not climb Mount Everest until 1953, 6 years after Hillary was born. However, the First Lady does have a good explanation for the discrepancy. She loves to lie.
And he had a whole running thread of jokes about Bill actively trying to get rid of her by sending her to space and leaving her there.
Astronaut Shannon Lucid, back on Earth after a record 6 months in space, was welcomed home Tuesday with a phone call from President Clinton. Said the president, quote, "This is just the beginning. One day we'll be able to send an American into space indefinitely, and I hope it's a woman."
On Weekend Update, he had a desk and a script, and it was framed as comedy. On The View later on in his career, he said it out loud as himself on one of America's most obviously pro-establishment shows. But in both cases, he was exposing exactly how debauched and messed up the elites truly were, decades before the public understood the factual basis for his comments. That was a recurring theme over a remarkably consistent career that had many other high-profile targets. Michael Jackson got absolutely destroyed at a time when he was the most popular musical artist in the world.
This week in a secret ceremony in Australia, Michael Jackson was married for the second time. Asked what makes his new bride special, the King of Pop said, quote, "She has taught me about the power of imagination, like imagining that a grown woman is a 10-year-old boy." You know he's a homosexual pedophile, right? You understand?
And there's this bit on Conan which deliberately blurred some boundaries and left Conan looking stunned.
And if it's a boy, he's going to have sex with it.
And the MJ jokes kept escalating until they couldn't get any more brutal if Norm tried.
He hangs out with young boys. He's a child molester, for God's sakes. Michael Jackson is a homosexual file. He's already molested a one-day-old boy.
You can hear how the audience is split, some groaning, some nervous laughing, some finding it hilarious.
So then, not only does he go after OJ and Bill Clinton and all these people, but then he goes after Michael Jackson. And a lot of people started having problems then, but then, you know, it started to make more sense. So let's watch this clip.
Bear in mind, this was way before Jackson's criminal trial, decades before leaving Neverland. MJ's legal team was one of the most aggressive in the industry. Norm's boss at SNL, Lorne Michaels, kept on warning him about lawsuits. Norm honestly didn't care.
You want a lawsuit by Michael Jackson?
Oh, he's suggesting.
And then I go, that's cool. I like I'm just answering his question. I go, that'd be cool. Michael Jackson suing me? And
Eventually, those Weekend Update roasting sessions became a comedy tradition that people learned to love. He outright just joked that Tom Cruise was gay without even needing a punchline.
In an interview in this month's Vanity Fair, actor Tom Cruise attempts to end once and for all rumors that he is gay.
Or there's this joke about Marlon Brando falling off the Hollywood wagon.
Last week on Larry King Live, Marlon Brando made the shocking statement that Hollywood is, quote, run by Jews. In response, outraged Jewish organizations made it snow in New York in April.
Norm deliberately mismatched his casual delivery with the severity of what he was saying. He just ducked and weaved his way out of trouble by using his tried and tested strategy of telling the truth with enough sarcasm to make anything appear marginal.
you can tell the truth, word for word, absolutely true. But when you do it, you use a sarcastic accent.
But he'd eventually make one enemy that would punish him in the most cowardly way possible. O.J. Simpson was charged with murdering his ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ron Goldman in 1994. The trial became the most watched event in American television history, and despite what most people considered overwhelming evidence, he was acquitted. From his very first Weekend Update, Norm called O.J. a murderer, and then he did it again and again for years across 60 consecutive shows.
O.J. Simpson's lawyers say they don't want the families of Nicole Brown and Ronald Goldman in the courtroom during the trial. They're afraid the presence of the family members will just remind O.J. of how much more killing he still has to do. Well, O.J. Simpson's lawyers stopped feuding this week, finally. The The Dream Team, F. Lee Bailey and Robert Shapiro, were able to put aside their differences and express their admiration for each other after O.J. threatened to cut their heads off.
Never letting the public forget. The trial verdict was a cultural earthquake, and here's what Norm said the night of the acquittal to the cheers of the audience.
Well, it is finally official. Murder is legal in the state of California.
The jokes then get darker and more absurd as the trial faded from the news, but Norm never moved on.
In his book, O.J. Simpson says that he would have taken a bullet or stood in front of a train for Nicole. Man, I'm going to tell you, that is some bad luck when the one guy who would have died for you kills you. This week in the O.J. Simpson trial, after grisly photos of the murdered Nicole Brown Simpson were shown in court, O.J. turned his head away and wept. It was at that moment that he realized he would never be able to kill her again. According to retailers, the most popular Halloween mask this year is O.J. Simpson. And the most popular Halloween greeting is, I'll kill you and that guy who's bringing over your glasses, or treat.
He inserted O.J. references into completely unrelated stories.
And the Pope came out with a book this week, which contains a series of essays examining faith and morality in today's secular world and the changing role of the Catholic Church as it approaches the 21st century. The book is entitled, God Himself Told Me That O.J. is Guilty.
Every single week, no matter what the news was, he found a way to call O.J. Simpson a murderer on national television. He even joked about O.J. at the ESPYs.
And there's Charles Woodson. How about that? And what a season he had. That is something that no one can ever take away from you. Unless you kill your wife and a waiter, in which case...
But this whole time, the head of NBC's West Coast division was watching his every move.
So crazy stuff. He was like a free speech guy. Like he loved free speech. He loved, I mean, he was a Canadian that moved to the US, who believed in free speech, and then something happens. He picks on O.J. Simpson, and his best friend happens to be the head of NBC, who then fires him, and we'll go ahead and play this clip.
Because he was O.J. Simpson's personal friend and golfing buddy. He allegedly threw a party for the jurors who acquitted Simpson, and he desperately wanted Norm to stop. Obviously, Norm wasn't planning on that anytime soon, so he just fired him and removed him from the Weekend Update from the start of 1998. The official reason was declining ratings, but nobody bought it, and that same excuse has been used to fire many comedians from similar roles since then. The NBC executive also told Conan to stop booking Norm on late night, but Conan thankfully ignored him and kept booking Norm at least 25 more times. A year later, Norm was then rehired in pretty much the same career arc Shane Gillis followed years later, and his opening monologue was one for the ages.
How did I go in a year and a half from being not funny enough to be even allowed in the building to being so funny that I'm now hosting the show? How did I suddenly get so damn funny? It was inexplicable to me because a year and a half, let's face it, is not enough time for a dude to learn how to be funny. Then it occurred to me, I haven't got funnier. The show has gotten really bad.
It was a classic industry U-turn where cancelling someone merely strengthened their resolve and popularity. Norm was still the best in the business and the best man for the job, but for all the people he went after, he was far from indiscriminate. He was painstakingly careful about whom he accused and what he accused them of, which means when he picked someone, there was a reason. In 2008, Comedy Central asked Norm to perform the roast of his close friend Bob Saget. So Norm called to discuss what he was going to do.
And he called me and he said, Saget, I can't say mean things about you. You're my friend. I don't even want to do it, but I'm going to do it because it's you.
Then Norm told Saget he was going to read jokes from a 1940s joke book. Saget told him to at least throw in an occasional curse word, but Norm refused.
I'm just going to read jokes from a 40s joke book. And I said, Norm, and that's fine. I mean, you know what you're doing, but you got to curse. I don't want to do that. I said, well, if just throw in an arbitrary, I'm not going to do that.
So you've got a room full of professional comedians delivering the filthiest, most personal attacks they can think of, and then Norm gets up and cracks jokes like this.
No, but Bob has a beautiful face, like a flower. Yeah, cauliflower. No offense, but your face looks like a cauliflower. No, I think that Bob should join the Ku Klux Klan. And that's not because he's racist. He's not racist. It's just that he'd look a lot better with a hood over his head on account of his face.
Half the room didn't know what was happening, the other half were in tears, and then at the very end, Norm got suddenly emotional.
Bob honestly has never had an unkind word for anybody, and I love him, and I hope everybody else does. So.
Saget later said Norm basically didn't enjoy the roast format, which is ironic at first impression, but makes complete sense when you consider that roasting people without cause is just meaningless.
So, yeah, he was probably what I would call the outlaw comedian. Like there were outlaw country singers, there were outlaw musicians, outlaws. I mean, they were the best, like they were way ahead of their time, and people still talk about him as if he's still alive. I mean, because he made such an impact not just on comedians, but on comedy itself and everyday life. And so this next clip, I'm just going to call The Legacy of Norm Macdonald.
The industry never gave him the career his talent deserved. Norm never got his own late night show, which Weekend Update was supposed to be the stepping stone towards. His sitcom lasted 3 years and vanished. He was touring 44 weeks a year into his late 50s because he couldn't afford to stop. That's another reason he went where no one else dared, because as he claimed, he had little to lose. He was a compulsive gambler who lost everything multiple times over and wasn't materialistic in the slightest. If anything, the sicker he became, the more relaxed he seemed, and he kept up his sharp commentary on current affairs rather than retreating into the background. When Epstein was found dead in his cell, Norm posted a single tweet that cut to the very core of the entire topic. A man is a coin, no observe without reverse. If you like, remember Jeff Epstein as a monster, destroying lives with wicked nonchalance. But for me, I will remember him as the man who killed Jeff Epstein. You have to think about that last line again, where he says the man who killed Jeff Epstein. Norm is saying Epstein killed himself, but by framing it as something Epstein did to Epstein, he's making the death sound like a hit. Either Epstein killed himself and that's suspicious, or someone else killed him and it was covered up, which elegantly covers both bases. Before that more famous post, he posted something more to the point like his earlier style of comedy, saying Epstein was point blank murdered by his powerful friends. Considered that was his gut instinct and not a widely held view at the time, and when Norm had a gut instinct, he usually was right. Hey, did Jeffrey Epstein commit S? Was he on S Watch? Impossible. Was he murdered by his rich and powerful friends? At the same time, he also kept on defending others from the industry's injustices. When Shane Gillis was hired and then publicly fired from Saturday Night Live in 2019, Norm was among the very few in the industry to speak out. With the media labeling him as a bigot, Norm picked up the phone and talked to him for an hour. 2 years after that phone call, Norm called it a draw with cancer after 9 years.
I'm pretty sure if the cancer dies, if you die, the cancer also dies at exactly the same time. So that, to me, is not a loss, that's a draw.
His legacy has only created more supporters for the very fact that it's going out of fashion. Every time another scandal breaks, everyone looks back at a time when influential comedians like Norm would go straight for the jugular regardless of the consequences. The question of why exactly he hounded powerful people doesn't have a single clear answer, because he deliberately obscured his own motivations. He professed to not know or care about politics.
People had very strong opinions on the election. Some people had very strong opinions one way, and other people had strong opinions the other way. And I didn't have any opinions at all. I don't have really any opinions on anything. Like, you ever watch the CNN, and they'll have the polls, and it'll be like, what do you think about embryonic stem cell research? And then it'll be like, see, there you go. It'll be like 52% yes, 46% no, 6% I don't know. See? And that's me. I don't know. So I phone up the CNN, and I go, hey, listen, is this the TV? Yeah, that question you asked about the embryonic stem cell research? I don't know.
What he cared about was the corrupt human impulses that lie beneath the whole act, why people lie, who they protect, and what they'll tolerate to uphold certain ideals. Comedy has entered a new era where the source material is more extreme than ever. MJ, Cosby, the Clintons, and OJ all seem like outliers at the time, but we now know they're definitely not, and the structure is much deeper than a few creepy individuals. Dismantling it, whatever it really is, has become impossible. We're also less shocked because we're desensitized. Conventionally, art is supposed to get more extreme as time goes on. Hitchcock's Psycho left people throwing up at the shower scene in 1960. Now, kids watch gory Netflix horrors while eating dinner. Modern culture is headed towards some permanent state of maximalism, where everything is more exaggerated, more dramatic, and the threshold for a reaction is higher than ever. A case like Epstein would have shattered the tone of public life for years in Norm's era, but today it's merely blurring into the ambient noise. Maybe that's why he still feels alive. He was operating in a culture that still had the capacity to be stunned by scandal, and he knew exactly how to play on that emotion. Now the scandals are more sinister, the evidence is available yet redacted, and the reaction paradoxically flattens because of how desensitized society has become.
So now, it's time for an all-new volume. Please excuse my sense of humor. And if you laugh at any of these jokes, please leave me a comment in the comment section. Which one was your favorite? And if you don't, I'm sorry. But you cannot take a joke. So, I really apologize. Anyways, let's roll it.
Warning. Some people might find some of these jokes offensive. If you are one of those people, I'm sorry that you cannot take a joke. Viewer discretion is advised.
Be a midget. The only thing more intense than my midget pride is my hate for tall people, or as we like to call them, biggers. Small power! Small power! Small power!
What's wrong?
That's Kentucky Fried Children. He diddles people.
Am I being anti-Semitic if I say that the United States taxpayers should not supply more weapons to Israel?
That statement alone is not anti-Semitic. It does not attack Jewish identity.
Rabbi?
Hast du etwas Zeit für mich? Dann singe ich ein Lied für dich von 99 Luftballons auf ihrem Weg zum Horizont. Denkst du vielleicht grad an mich?
What? It's kosher. Hey, we all gotta eat. See? Pays out regular. Now you just take off the extra. Keeps them smooth, fits the slot clean. Snip, snip. Don't worry, still worth a nickel. It's honest work. Mostly.
So your profile said you were African American.
I am a frickin' American.
Guys, the Easter Bunny came at my house today and gave me a $1 million bill from Bunny Bucks. We're gonna be giving it all to Israel. Quite frankly, you do not get to say anything about this, or I will beat your ass.
Alright, what do we got? It's like a hand show? Oh, wow. Wow, so pretty. That is really cool. Wow. So talented. Amazing. Ah! Oh. Ah! Oh, okay.
Any of these men with the chocolate faces, there are over 200 of them in US&A.
How did you get on with them?
Very nice. In Kazakhstan, we only have one of these chocolate faces called Gogol. He lives in the Kazakh State Circus, where people queue up to touch his hair.
Davis is one of the few African Americans you will ever find attending a KKK rally. More than attending, he is welcome.
I got more respect for that black man than I do you white niggers out there.
He was Jesus on earth. He was like living AI, where you could go and ask it a question and it will respond to you, but with God.
We are Charlie Kirk.
You gotta grab it, it's right there.
Sir, don't get in there.
Oh my God, he's going down.
Back up,
I got it. Oh! Get off! Help!
Somebody call security.
Hey, leave him.
Saddam Hussein rookie card! Woo! Let's go, dude!
Who rubs their hands and resembles rats? Who owns the banks and wears little hats?
17-year-old Ernest Hart, murdered last night at a party in what they say was a dispute over a piece of chicken.
I want you to know that I can sniff out if there is a traitor in a company.
Really?
And if I find them, I can finish them.
Well, I really don't need you to do that.
I think you got some pennies in there. They don't make those anymore.
Jeremiah carries on with that light that feels like home. Lindsay shines in every room, brings the laughter, breaks the gloom. Jake Grant rides beside that show, keeps it rolling, keeps it going. And Opa brings a spark with Opa Corner in the dark. Every story finds a place.
He did the bombs. Also, he's been replaced and he's the PSYOP.
Hey guys, I just wanted to tell you guys that I've worked for the CIA since day one, and I've been a plant by the government.
And he's gay.
I'm gay!
Have you seen the videos of him being gay?
Hey everyone, meet my big black gay lover.
Hey baby, I've been waiting for this.
I have, and I wish I hadn't. Oh yeah, and this is for entertainment purposes only. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, and I'm glad you guys loved the little mini documentary I put out, but I just want you guys to know that I love you all, and thank you for all your prayers for Opa, and thank you for just sticking with us. We hit 150,000 subscribers, so woohoo, we're partying, and stay awake, not woke, subscribe, and stay tuned. If you like what we do here on Skiba News Nation, please like and subscribe, and also share with others so we can grow the biggest truth-seeking community on the internet. Huge shout out to all of our Patreons out there. If you like bonus content, you want some extra Skiba News Nation stuff, please go to patreon.com/Skiba News Nation.
Son of the legendary Ross Jeremiah Skiba.
It's like they don't even want to wake up.
He's on a quest for truth.